Hi and welcome back. Do you know what hurts the most? Not failure, not rejection, but waking up every day, feeling like you are never enough. Many people spend their whole life caring for others, while quietly hating themselves inside. Today, let's talk honestly about something simple, but life-changing. How to love yourself, not with fake positivity, not with perfect quotes, but in a real and human way. Lesson 1. Why people stop loving themselves. Nobody is born hating themselves, but little by little, life changes people. Criticism, comparison, rejection, failure. Over time, many people begin believing they are only valuable when they succeed. They think, I will love myself when I become better, when I make more money, when people finally accept me. But self-love does not begin after perfection. It begins when you stop treating yourself like an enemy. Many people speak to themselves more harshly than they would ever speak to another person. One mistake becomes, I am useless. One failure becomes, I will never succeed. After years of negative thoughts, the mind becomes exhausted. And social media makes this worse. Every day, people compare their real life to someone else's highlight reel. Perfect bodies, perfect lifestyles, perfect relationships. But nobody shows their fear, loneliness, or insecurity online. The truth is, everyone struggles sometimes, even confident people, even successful people. That is why self-love starts with honesty. Not pretending your life is perfect, but accepting yourself while still growing. You can improve your life without hating yourself in the process. And maybe that is the first step toward peace. Lesson 2. Stop seeking approval from everyone. One of the biggest reasons people feel unhappy is because they depend too much on other people's opinions. They want everyone to like them, everyone to approve of them, everyone to understand them. But that is impossible. No matter how kind you are, someone will criticize you. No matter how hard you work, someone will say it is not enough. If your self-worth depends on approval, your peace will disappear very quickly. Many people become trapped in people-pleasing. They say yes when they want to say no. They hide their true feelings. They constantly worry about disappointing others. Slowly, they lose themselves. And the sad part is this. The more you try to make everyone happy, the more emotionally tired you become. Because pretending is exhausting. Real self-love means respecting yourself, even when not everyone agrees with you. It means understanding that your value does not disappear because someone dislikes you. You do not need constant compliments to deserve respect. And this is especially important for people learning English. Many learners feel embarrassed when they make mistakes. They compare themselves to native speakers. They become afraid to speak. But mistakes are part of growth. Nobody becomes fluent without sounding imperfect first. Confidence grows from practice, not perfection. So stop waiting to become flawless before appreciating yourself. You are allowed to grow and still feel worthy at the same time. And another important truth is this. When you constantly chase approval, you stop asking, who am I really? Instead, you ask, what do people want me to be? That question slowly disconnects people from themselves. But self-love means returning to your real identity. Not the version created to impress others, the real version, the quiet version, the imperfect version, the honest version. Because peace begins when you stop performing for the world all the time. And maybe not everyone will understand the real you. That is okay. You do not need everyone's permission to respect yourself. Lesson 3. Forgive yourself and move forward. Many people cannot love themselves because they are still trapped in the past. They replay old mistakes, old failures, old regrets. At night, they think, I should have done better. I wasted so much time. I ruined everything. But constantly punishing yourself will not change the past. It only destroys your peace in the present. Yes, mistakes matter. Yes, we should learn from them. But there is a difference between learning and hating yourself forever. Nobody becomes wise without making mistakes. Every strong person was once immature. Every confident person once felt lost. Every successful person failed many times privately. Growth is messy. Sometimes people expect their younger self to have the wisdom they only learned years later. That is unfair. You were doing the best you could with the knowledge and emotional strength you had at that time. That does not excuse harmful behavior, but it explains human imperfection. Self-forgiveness is not pretending nothing happened. It means saying, yes, I made mistakes, but I can still become a better person. That mindset changes everything, because your worst moment is not your entire identity. A bad chapter does not mean the whole story is bad. And many people are much harder on themselves than they are on others. If your friend made a mistake, you would probably show compassion. You would say, you were struggling. You can still change. But when it comes to yourself, you show no mercy. Why? At some point, you must stop treating yourself like an enemy for being human. Real healing comes from growth, not endless shame. And sometimes, you also need to forgive yourself for what happened to you. Many people secretly blame themselves for pain they never deserved. Being rejected, being abandoned, being treated badly by others. Not every painful experience was your fault. Some people hurt others because they are hurting inside themselves. Please remember that. Self-love means releasing unnecessary guilt. It means understanding that being wounded does not make you worthless. And maybe your story is not over yet. Maybe one day you will look back at this difficult period and feel proud that you kept going anyway. Lesson 4. Learn to be alone without feeling empty. Many people are afraid of being alone. So they stay constantly distracted. They scroll on their phones all day. They stay in unhealthy relationships. They surround themselves with noise just to avoid silence. Because silence can feel uncomfortable. When life becomes quiet, people begin hearing their real thoughts, their loneliness, their fear, their sadness. But here is an important truth. If you cannot feel peaceful alone, you will depend too much on other people for happiness. And that creates emotional suffering. Some people stay with the wrong person simply because they fear loneliness more than unhappiness. They accept disrespect. They ignore red flags. They abandon themselves just to keep someone else. But self-love teaches something different. It teaches that peace is more valuable than forced connection. Being alone does not mean you are unwanted. Sometimes solitude is where healing begins. When you spend time alone peacefully, you begin understanding yourself better. What truly matters to you? What drains your energy? What kind of life you really want? And slowly, You stop needing constant attention to feel valuable. That is emotional freedom. This does not mean isolating yourself from everyone. Human beings still need love and connection. But healthy relationships should add peace to your life, not become your entire identity. Because no person can permanently fill emptiness inside you. Real peace must grow from within. And when you learn to enjoy your own company, something beautiful happens. You stop begging for attention. You stop chasing people who clearly do not value you. You stop fearing loneliness all the time. Instead, you begin protecting your peace. Simple moments start feeling meaningful. Walking quietly, listening to music, drinking coffee alone, watching the rain without rushing anywhere. These small moments help people reconnect with themselves again. And maybe being alone is not the punishment you once feared. Maybe it is the place where you finally learn how to feel whole again. Lesson 5. Change the way you speak to yourself. The voice inside your mind matters more than most people realize, because you hear that voice every single day. And sadly, many people speak to themselves with cruelty. I am not good enough. I always fail. I will never change. After years of hearing these thoughts, the mind begins believing them. That is why self-love is also about changing your inner language. There is a difference between self-awareness and self-hatred. Self-awareness says, I made a mistake. I need to improve. Self-hatred says, I made a mistake. Therefore, I am worthless. Those are completely different mindsets. One helps you grow. The other destroys your confidence. Many people believe being hard on themselves creates success. But constant self-criticism usually creates fear, stress, and emotional exhaustion. A person grows better with encouragement than with shame. That is true for children. And it is also true for adults. So instead of saying, I am a failure, try saying, I am still learning. Instead of, I ruin everything, say, I made a mistake, but I can improve. These small changes may sound simple, but they slowly change the emotional atmosphere inside your mind. And another important truth is this: being kind to yourself does not make you lazy. Healthy discipline sounds different from self-hatred. Self-hatred says, you are pathetic. Healthy discipline says, you deserve a better life. Keep going. One comes from punishment, the other comes from care, and people naturally protect what they value. When you begin valuing yourself, you make healthier decisions. You rest more. You protect your peace. You stop allowing toxic people unlimited access to your life, not because you became selfish, but because you finally understand that your well-being matters too. You were never supposed to become your own enemy. You were supposed to become your own safe place. Lesson 6. Self-love is built through small daily actions. Many people think self-love is only a feeling, but real self-love is built through daily actions. Because there will still be difficult days. Days when you feel tired, unmotivated, or emotionally heavy. And during those moments, self-love becomes the small choices you continue making anyway. Getting enough sleep, taking care of your health, resting without guilt, saying no to people who drain your energy, giving yourself time to heal. These actions may look small, but repeated daily, they become self-respect. Because every habit sends a message to your mind. Some habits say, I do not care about myself. Other habits say, my life matters too. And another important truth is this: self-love is not always comfortable. Sometimes loving yourself means leaving unhealthy environments, facing painful truths, taking responsibility for your life. Real healing requires honesty, and progress does not need to be dramatic. Many people expect instant confidence and instant happiness. But emotional growth happens slowly, like a tree growing quietly over time. One calmer reaction, one healthier decision, one less negative thought. That is how people slowly change their lives. And as you grow, protecting your peace becomes more important. You stop wasting energy on every argument. You stop trying to prove yourself constantly. You stop carrying unnecessary negativity, because peace becomes valuable. And perhaps the deepest form of self-love is this: refusing to give up on yourself. Even after failure, even after heartbreak, even after difficult seasons, still choosing to continue. Because self-love does not mean becoming perfect. It means treating yourself with patience while you grow, step by step, day by day. And in the end, that quiet kindness toward yourself can completely change your life. Before this video ends, remember this: you do not need to become perfect before you deserve love. Not from other people, and not from yourself. So many people spend years trying to fix everything about themselves first. But real self-love begins the moment you stop fighting yourself every day. It begins when you speak more gently to your mind, when you forgive your past, when you protect your peace, when you finally believe your feelings matter too. And if you are still healing right now, that does not make you weak. It makes you human. So instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" maybe start asking, "How can I care for myself a little better tomorrow?" Sometimes healing begins with very small changes. One healthier choice, one honest moment, one decision not to give up. And over time, those small moments quietly change a life. Thank you for spending this time with me tonight. If this video helped you feel calmer or a little less alone, please consider subscribing to the channel. And remember, the relationship you build with yourself will shape every part of your life.